evening, everybody. Archana here, and today you are with me for an interview with the most illustrious Vijaya Suvarna ma'am. Right? So I'm showing her on the screen right here because her accomplishments are so many that the whole interview would just pass off with me introducing who she is. So I thought we'll make a small power PPT about her so that you have a clearer understanding of who Vijaya Suvarna ma'am is. Welcome to the studio, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Archana ji. It's a pleasure being here with you. Right. And thank you so much for inviting me on this show.
Right. So talking a little about ma'am. Ma'am is director at Liberation Coaches Private Limited, and you can see all the positions she holds. She is a director of Liberation Courses, and then at Summer Training and Consultancy Services, MHRDM Gold Medalist. She's a Dean with Liberation Business School and the founder trustee of the Liberation Education Trust. Now these are all the tags which go with Vijaya ma'am. Now looking at her accomplishments, she is a national award winner for training and education services. And I think this is one of the best awards that one can achieve in today's world when education has become a complete business. And then she also holds the prestigious International Achievers Award for Education Excellence 2012, Indo-Thai and Indo-Singapore Chamber of Commerce, TIE Three Shakti Award for Women. So more power to women. Thank you to you, ma'am. She's the Entrepreneurs of India 2011, Indian Express Lok Satta Navadurga Award 2014. She's a nominee for CNBC Emerging India Awards 2012, nominee for ET Now Awards 2013, and Knowledge Guru, Ascent Foundation. As we go further, the roles that she essays: she's a career counselor, senior and top management, chief consultant, corporate trainer, master trainer, business coach, content developer, pioneer, mom to supermom, author, the motivational book, 5 Break-Free Truths. So you know where you want to go if you actually are looking at any of these aspects to improve yourself. She's also a visiting faculty for SP Jain, NMI MS, MET Global Varsity, GNMIMS, and Annamalai University. Her areas of expertise: personality, psychology, group dynamics, people management, HR management, performance management, OD and OT. So she is a whole and soul, a one-man army is what I can say. Coming to her passions: singing, Carnatic classical, Hindustani classical, Sufi bhajan ghazals, Bollywood. Again, if you look at her passions and the singing, the range of music interest she has, it encompasses everything, just like the talents she possesses. Bollywood, theater, reading, dancing, painting, adventure activities, writing, cooking, life, etc. So ma'am, is there anything that you haven't done?
What haven't I done? I'm just thinking, okay, so nope. There are a lot of things which I haven't done, but not that I haven't attempted. I see, it's like this. My simple philosophy of life is, Arjuna ji, ki one should not go back, one should not look back in life and regret that I should have done this earlier. So I have done trekking, I've done all kinds of things simply because it needs to be done, and one should do it so that one doesn't have any regrets in life about not having done it. Because as you grow older, your knees will start speaking, your back will start talking very loudly, your ankle will start hurting, and so before all that occurs, I think something you should be doing so many things. I think filling your days with a lot of tasks, whether you're good at it or bad at it, it doesn't really matter. But if you fill it with tasks, you don't get bored. Mentally you remain stable, mentally you stay alert and intelligent. And my biggest fear is brain regression is my biggest fear. All those regressive disorders like brain, let's say Alzheimer's, or you may have dementia. I think all this is to do with inactivity of the brain and your brain regressing, losing memory. That's my biggest fear, that as I grow older, my brain will regress. And I read somewhere that the more active you keep your brain, the lesser probability is that it will actually regress. So so there are so many things like that. One is not wanting to not wanting to have any regret later on in life. That's one thing. Second is wanting to keep one's brain extremely alert and active as years go by. That has actually motivated me to and try a lot of things in life. And I have a book. I have a book called 50 Before 60. Okay, 50 Before 60 is a book in which I've written a list of 50 things I want to do before I turn 60 years of age, right? So I have 5 music albums and written in it, which I want to ensure that it happens. And I've written a lot of things. I want to meet Angelina Jolie. Have written, I want to meet Amitabh Bachchan. I've written, I want to go and stay abroad for 3 months. Just like that, with no objective, just go and stay abroad. I want to go and live in a village destination or a mountain place for about 3 months with absolutely no agenda. I mean, just 15 things that I want to do before I turn 60. So that keeps me motivated, and that's about it.
That's wonderful, Vijaya ma'am. Just like right from very normal things which people would think, hey, this is very common, to very high thinking. And I just don't have words to express what are the emotions that I'm going through right now. So on my bucket list, just like you said, 50 Before 60, on my bucket list is meeting you and seeing your lovely collection of books there. I see a huge library there.
Oh, and, yes, there is. Yeah.
And yes, I remember you telling me that the whole wall is a bookshelf. So it's an amazing idea, ma'am. Beautifully done, I must say.
And this is my office, and I have a similar collection at home. So the passion for books has been since the time I was very small, because obviously I couldn't afford to buy books. But let me also tell you a story about many of the books over here. I did my master's, in HR, and at that time I sponsored my own education. This was after I got married and after I had a child. I had no money to buy any textbook, so I used to take as many books from the library as possible from other people's library card. I mean, your library card can give you only 2 books at a time. Yes. I used to beg all my friends in college and say, please give me a library card. I want to take books. I used to take books to study, and in return, I had to make notes and give it to them. So it was a barter. They would give me the library card. I would make notes and I'll give it to them. So I had decided that, and that changed my life, because I topped my university exams after my child. It was very difficult, but I will always give that. I'll always be grateful to the books that really changed my life. And I decided that when I have enough money, I will buy all the books that I read in college. So I had decided that. So after I finished my MBA, after many, many years, when things became stable and I started earning money, I went and bought almost every textbook that I studied and I had borrowed in my MBA days. So most of the books that you will see in the shelf behind are books which I studied during MBA, and I feel that, and I bought them with my own money later. So that's the story behind the books behind my back. And there's one shelf over there. When I bought this office and I told the people who were coming in, invites were sent, and 200-300 people came. And there was very simple, in the invitation, there was a very simple sentence. It said, either don't bring flowers, don't bring Ganpati, don't bring anything, just come in with your blessings or come in with a book.
Amazing.
So many of the books, so beautiful. Many of the books in that side of the shelf, it's all by people who came during our inaugural and our well-wishers. But so that was again one great way to collect books, So that's the story of the bookshelf behind me.
Beautiful, ma'am. Amazing. So when you're speaking, when you're talking about the experience of your college days and your library and your habit of asking or borrowing library cards from your college mates, I am reliving my college life. Actually, this was what I too did. And my librarian was, exactly, my librarian was frustrated. She was like, Archana, the collection's done, please. The new books have to arrive. And
My
that was
God,
a
so
time.
many similarities. So
Exactly.
many similarities. Yeah.
Very, very true. And there was a time when I was like, I have no books to read, but then, reading books is like an addiction, as bad as an addiction as an alcohol or a drug. And so I was into reading books. I didn't have anything to read, and I just started reading the dictionary because I have nothing better to read
Oh
there.
wow.
And
Oh wow.
uh, that is how it goes. And I too can relate to several things that you say about. Yes, like, but then I don't know how people have come up with diamonds are a girl's best friend. Not mine, not mine. Books are my best friend. So my
I
hubby knew the
agree. Wow.
secret. And you know what? He knew that anything upset me, he's very happy to make Archana easy. Just give her a book and she'll be,
Oh.
finished. She will melt. So any of our anniversary or any of a special occasion, he would get me books, and I had a beautiful collection of books, like you said. And I
Wow.
always aim at having more and more books. And I think the more we read, just like you said, it's not only entertaining, satisfying, you go and live into the world. And one of our common favorite books, Gone with the Winds. Oh my God,
Yes.
I lived in the civil revolution of America or throughout the time that I read the book.
If this is how I've also used books in the past so many years, is that's how I was I think we connected. Today is my 1292nd day of writing one page summaries of books that I read. So without a break. Yeah, without a break, not a single day's break, be it Diwali, be it vacation, if I'm not well, traveling, I'm abroad, it doesn't matter. Every day I read a chapter or two chapters or three chapters. I make a one page handwritten summary and I post it. When I began, it was for myself, it was for my team members so that they can very quickly read. But then it started spreading. My clients started asking for it, and then colleagues started asking for it, and then and then someone said, "Why don't you post it on Facebook? Because more people would love to read a summary like that." And then my daughter said, "Mama, your page looks very boring. Why do you add a drawing to it?" So I started drawing because I'm artistic. I also paint and draw a bit. So I started doodling and drawing around it. And today, then I started getting invitations from Facebook pages, and that, why don't you pay? We are giving you posting rights in our groups too. So can you please post it in our group? So in the past 3 years, 1,292 days of having written this, I must have finished at least 150 to 200 books in the past 3 years because of this. And also because I've been writing it every day without fail, today I have a direct subscriber base, or you would say a follower base, of almost 1.5 to 2 lakh people who get, maybe even more, directly they get this everyday daily summaries from me, and indirectly I've been told that they also forward it to lakhs of people around them. So just a small thing that I started 3 years back, 3.5 years back, today it's become quite a discipline for me. It's a daily thing. So it doesn't matter, even if I'm traveling and coming back home at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, if I haven't sent that one page photograph to people, it means I still haven't slept. So if there are times I stay awake the entire night, but I will finish it and then I will go to sleep. My family has come and yelled at me, said, "You're not sleeping. It's 4 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, "No, I need to finish this book. I'll read it, I'll write it, and then I will go to sleep." So that's been one discipline of how I've manifested the readings that I have, because I learned through writing, and the diagrams also, and the drawings are also pretty cute. So you can actually look at the photo and immediately understand what the content of that book is. So that's been my journey, my love, my romance, and my love story with books for the past so many years.
Oh, yes, undoubtedly. You never fall out of love with books. That is one thing that I have realized. And I think now this interview is going to be a huge inspiration for many, many people. Like you said, once you start writing, until unless you're done with it, your day is not over and you cannot fall asleep. I can relate to it. And just like you said, my family members keep complaining, when are you going to sleep? So again, I think both of us will hit it off. We've taken to each other like a house on fire. It's wonderful, ma'am, just talking to you. Right. So, ma'am, coming to the reason that I wanted to interact with you, because you have a huge experience not only in the educational field, but also several areas, including psychology. I would like to ask you, how do we keep ourselves as educators motivated in the current world today, when because of the COVID we do not have personal interaction, and some of the educators are really facing it a challenge to interact online and hold the attention of students. So what do you suggest? How do we go about doing this?
Okay, so I was kind of pondering that question a little bit while you were speaking, and there are three things that I would like to kind of say over here. First thing is learn to love your students. I mean, learn to love them. They could be the worst of the lot. They could be indisciplined. They could be are disinterested. They could be riotous. They could be rebels. It doesn't matter. Just love them, and want the best for them. That's the first thing. You know, you cannot create a meaningful difference in people's lives if you don't love them. You can't do it. You just can't. How much ever you try, you can't do it. And especially in the education sector, you could do this in manufacturing and trading and other professions. But if you are in the education sector, unless you truly love and are in love with those kids over there, you can't create a difference. So number one, learn to love them despite whoever they are, whatever they are. Right, that's the first thing. So when you once you surrender to them, now when you surrender to them, what happens is there is this it's a domino effect. When you surrender to something, or you love something, you will go out of your way to make that love story sustain. You will do everything to ensure that the love story is the love story of the century. Correct? So when you fall in love with your students, now what you will do is you will get into the psychology, into the mindset of the students. You will get into their head. You will realize that, you will understand their pain. They are on their screen. You know, a school is not about the screen. A school is about, or a college is about, where you interact with people. You go talk to friends, you sit with them, you chat with them, you pass chits to each other in class, you kick somebody, you know, from behind, and you pull somebody's hair, and you steal somebody's book, and you break somebody's pencil. So school is not about education, at least not the academic book only. It's about you interacting and bullying people, getting bullied in return. It's all that. Just imagine the kid is missing all of it. The child is missing all of this. And you know, guess what? The last thing the child wants to learn is a physics ka theory. Let me tell you this also. Just understand that. Understand this, the child is not interested in trigonometry. It's not interested. It is missing throwing the square at somebody, making a rocket it's missing that. The child is missing that. If you can just understand that part of it, then you will really and truly make the subject interesting for the students. Correct? So it's about getting into somebody's head to know what they like and what they want, and then giving up to it. So when you make a presentation there, many times your disinterest is visible in on your face. Your disinterest on the screen, the way you created the PPT, there are spelling mistakes in it. The font is of different sizes. You know, it's a copy paste job from somewhere. It's not clear. It's so visible that you never put in effort to make it look fantastic. You did hard work, but hard work did not have excellence. So number one is, of course, get into the mindset. Like I said, one is get into the mindset of the student, fall in love with them, get into their mindset. And
Right.
third, excellence. There is nothing that will not impress a child more than excellence. I've also come across teachers whose communication skill is poor. They're masters in their subject, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't know how to communicate it right. They don't make it fun. It's so boring. Imagine in English, children are taught gerund. What the hell is gerund? What is this? Is this how you teach English to children, and this is what you teach them and make them love a subject? Where are the stories and the poems and the debates on on an author? And it's made so boring. Write the past, present, future tense. Who cares about the past, present, and future tense? Nobody does. See, the syllabus is so boring. The teacher can make it so damn interesting. So bringing humor into it, bringing energy into it, bringing excitement into it. The fact is, when you are in love with the subject and with your students, guess what? They will, fall right back in love with you despite themselves. they won't be able to stop themselves from loving you. So that's about it. Just surrender and fall in love with. And remember that a child needs that kind of social engagement. The child is bored to death. The students, anybody, college, school, doesn't matter. They are bored at home right now. And seriously, your subject is the last thing on their mind. Let's accept it. There's no way around it. And you're very lucky if you have one student who's interested, you're really very, very lucky. So the minute you realize this, I think you will have more fun and you will have more engagement and you will surrender. You can tell anecdotes, tell stories, but prepare. So much of preparation is needed, before you even step into a digital classroom. The amount of preparation needed for excellence, it's very different from a live classroom. In the live classroom, you can punish them, tell them, make them stand up, ask a question. You can do all that. The digital rooms are different. There you are no longer in control. The children are in control. I think you need to understand that. And teachers need to be really many of them need to be continuously trained on the digital platform. They need to be, and they need very intense training. When I speak to you, Archana, when I meet you, you'll find that it's easier. My clarity of language will be perhaps even better. But digitally, all that is filtered. Many of them don't have clear voices. They don't have voice modulation. They don't have good pronunciation. How do you expect the child to be interested in something which is average and mediocre? Nobody likes mediocre. Movie it's a movie mein apne ko, we want entertainment in the movie, right? When you go for a movie, you're not going to, it's so, and a digital platform is like a movie and you're a rock star every day, so you have to perform like a rock star. You have to do your absolute riyaz and your practice. You have to get your props in order. You should make it look interesting, exciting, colorful, entertaining, because the online platform is like entertainment. It is not education. Let's face it. It's entertainment. And when you are going to entertain, the kind of prep needed is what will make the child interested. So I just want to, that's all I have to say. I know I kind of went
Amazing, ma'am.
on, but I'm very passionate.
You put it so beautifully. You're the rock star. It is a movie, so you need to prepare. That makes perfect sense. That means you need to adapt. You need to adapt to the change and be prepared so that you are able to engage your audience. Otherwise, your theater will be empty in no time. As simple as that.
Oh, that's a good one. Otherwise, your theater will be empty. Very true. Your theater will be empty. So think of yourself as a Shah Rukh Khan and Aishwarya Rai every day, and go there in front of the camera as though you were the heroine and the hero of that show. Then look at how the engagement happens. Yeah, very true.
Beautiful, amazing. And ma'am, you were talking about kids being unruly. So have you had any situation wherein you had to handle unruly kids? And how did you deal with it? Because I find classroom management is a major challenge with many educators.
Absolutely. Look, it's like this. Children, kids, when they're unruly in the classroom, what they're doing is they're testing you. They're testing to see whether you can handle them. Every child wants to have someone who can manage them. Most parents can't. Most parents can't. They're testing you. If you fail the test, I feel very bad for you, because you'll never be able to pass the test. There is no retest in it. There is no re-exam. It's one time they will test you. If you pass it, you're through, and they will fall in love with you. So I've had classrooms where children have been unruly, and I see. I can't really specifically tell you what I do, but like I told you, I fall in love with them. Right, and I'm very chill with them. They don't frighten me. I think many teachers are unable to manage unruly children because they're frightened, and the fright shows. It shows in their body language. If you can just be okay with them. I remember one specific incident. I'm going to talk about younger kids and maybe then older. Then I'll talk about older kids too. Right, so one of the I teach family business MBA programs, and one of the first thing I tell them is that I very clearly tell them, listen, you are here not as your own people. I mean, your name is not Abhishek, for example. Your name is, what's your name, my friend? He will say Abhishek, something, Rastogi. Abhishek Rastogi, you are not Abhishek Rastogi. You are representing Rastogi Chemicals. You are the brand ambassador right now in this class of Rastogi Chemicals. Kindly behave the way the future MD of Rastogi Chemicals is going to behave. Kindly behave that way. Okay, so your open button to show your cleavage, only women can show cleavage. Please don't show me your hairy chest. Please don't come with your, with your hairy legs showing because you're wearing Bermudas, right? If you are going to represent your company, can't you represent like a managing director would. Because you see, in this classroom, you have your double turnover in this classroom, which means if you interact with the right people here, your turnover will double even before you enter your business normally. Correct? Because everybody's watching you. So my one single sentence that I always use very actively, and I think it's quite effectively, is I say, you are being watched. You are being watched. Never think you're too insignificant. You are being watched. People are looking at you. Every time you say something, people are looking at you. Every time you show a particular behavior which is negative, people are looking at you. So behave the way you would behave if you were in the center of a mega production. All the spotlight was on you. Now tell me, will you scratch your head? Now tell me, will you show a disgusted expression? Now tell me, will you show anything lesser than your best? So you are the hero of your life. And if you are there in the center, people are looking. And by the way, people who laugh with you when you crack a joke which is vulgar or which is not, relevant, or which is, they're laughing with you, my friend, they are laughing at you.
Yes.
They're not laughing with you. With you, though, hey, it's over and done with. They're also laughing at you. Why? Because they are seeing you at something lesser than who you actually could be. Don't be who you are. Always be who you could be. Right? So I'm very strict. I'm very strict in the class wherever I'm invited as a faculty. I don't allow anyone to fall below standards, and I've always had 100% attendance in my classroom. 100%. Because I tell them, listen, if you're not in the class, I'll not give you attendance. If you don't write in the examination well, I will not give you marks. But if you deserve the marks, the entire world can come and I will not stop from giving you 100 out of 100 if you deserve it. Correct? So you will get what you deserve. And guess what? I think you deserve the world. Right? I said, I already have a very high impression of you. I already have a lot of respect for youth. I already have excellent rapport with all of you. I think you can conquer the world. Now you prove me otherwise. Because if you prove me otherwise, you will lose. If you prove me right, you will win. So that's what I tell them. I remind them that they are far better than who they are today. And I've had so many experiences, a full classroom of people who were copying. I shifted them so many times, because they said, we will complain to the dean that you shifted our places. I said, look, my friend, if you go and complain that I have shifted your places and so you didn't get time to write the exam, and I will go and complain that I found you copying, just imagine whom they will believe. I don't want to spoil your career. I'm shifting. So tomorrow I'm going to be back. Today you didn't study. Be a man, and give this exam again. Tomorrow come prepared. Correct? I simply tell them, be a man. Don't be a sissy, damn it. Just be a man, right? And if you're a man, you have the courage to own up to something. So it's just that instilling pride in them, in who they are. When children are unruly, they are seeking attention. They are that's the main thing. They are seeking attention. They're testing you to see whether you are capable of handling them. Will you understand them better? That's what they're trying to do. I think if you could just hold on to that, reinstill their pride in themselves, reinstill their confidence in themselves. Right.
Yes.
So if you can just fall in love with them, just fall in love with the unruly ones. Remember, they want attention. They want to fall in love with you too. Give them that opportunity. Don't hate them because they are unruly. They are testing you. What is the point of you being a teacher if you only get great students around you who are interested in you? That's not where the test and challenge is. The challenge is in you managing these unruly children. Take it up as a challenge. And there's so many movies. To Serve with Love is there. There is Chak De if you want to see something in Hindi. Look, just go to these movies, revisit them again and again and again. Take inspiration from the roles that you're seeing over there. It's just beautiful. So no, the teaching journey, I think, is the most noble journey in the world. Okay, if that unruly child whom you're complaining about, if that child is going to make his life because of you, just imagine what a feather in your cap that should be. Let that be the ultimate objective, that the most unruly, indisciplined, rebellious children in the class will remember you for a lifetime because you transformed them into somebody very powerful. Let that be your objective. And if you have that objective sincerely from your heart, I don't think any child is unmanageable.
Completely agree. Beautifully explained, ma'am. And yes, when you talk about this, I also had other thoughts coming to my mind as to how delicate and what do I say, mentally unstrong the younger generation is. They cannot take anything. They cannot take criticism. They cannot take failure. I'll give you a small example. My elder sister, Mrs. Aruna Shrikant, she herself is in the teaching profession. In fact, all of our siblings, we are three sisters and we are all educators. And my elder sister, she has she worked as a principal for several colleges and schools also, and currently she is with a degree college. One night, in the middle of the night, she gets a call from one of her students, and it is around 1:30. So she is dumbfounded as to 1:30. Why is this guy calling me? It's a degree student, right? He's a second year student. So she asks him, yes. So he says, ma'am, I'm going to commit suicide. And before killing myself, I wanted to talk to you. So her heart started palpitating. She know, oh my God, what do I do now? So, and he is like, she says, oh, is it? Good, very good. And may I ask you what drove you to this decision? So he says, no, ma'am, I'm very disappointed. I'm just going to kill myself. And so how are you going to, so my sister says, so I hope you have purchased a very potent poison, because nowadays all that we get are, you know, adulterated, and you may not be actually killed. So your purpose will be defeated. I hope you have purchased a good brand of poison. He says, no, ma'am, I didn't purchase any poison. I'm going to the railway station to kill myself. So she said, I would suggest against that, you know, because that would be a very painful death. See, it's already 1 o'clock now. Why don't you wait till 9 till the medical shops open? And then ping me. I will just be messaging you the name of a very potent drug which can actually kill you within seconds. You know, you will not feel any pain and you will happily die. And he was like, ma'am, are you not asking me not to die? She said, when you want to take your life, who am I to stop you? Go ahead. Go ahead, do whatever you want. And then she just slammed the phone down. But she was sweating and she was literally shaking till she went to the classroom the following day. 9 o'clock, she saw him in the class, and she just saw, and she went and she said, she did not talk anything, no reference to the midnight discussion or anything. Once the class was over, she signaled to him, come to my room. And then when he walked in there, she was like, so I hope you got your brand of poison. He was like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry. So she said, what are you going to achieve by doing this? Okay. And then he said, ma'am, if you had tried to stop me, I would have probably rushed to the railway station and jumped before the train. But what you said held me back. So then later she was telling, when I actually was talking to him like that, my heart was beating fast. I said, oh my God, what if this child actually does this? But then he said, that, no, I need to talk to ma'am. Why didn't she stop me? Why did she say, go kill yourself? Right? Negative reinforcement. So we have to use several tips and tactics in order to keep these children engaged. So why do you think these children of today are so very delicate and they cannot handle anything, ma'am? So what do we actually do with such children?
We have done it. No, we have done it. We don't tell them the truth. We save them. Why we save them from the world from the time they're a small child? Don't save your child from the world. You need to prepare the child for the world. You can't save the child from the world. You know, we hold them back in everything. We want them to feel like a winner always. We always want them to feel good about themselves. And I don't understand. This cannot happen when the child is 15. Really, you have to start right from the time the child is small. If there is, for example, if a child is throwing a tantrum for a wafer packet, and assuming that you don't want to buy it right there for him or her, the first thing that enters your mind is that it's just $5. Let me just spend it, and at least he'll stop throwing a tantrum and crying. I really and truly mean, don't buy it. You may have 5 rupees, you may have 500, you may have 5 crores. The child is having cough, you can't give him wafer or chips or whatever. Don't buy it. The child is in the middle of that shop yelling and screaming, crying. You stand there with him. Let him finish. Or you leave the child there if you know the shopkeeper and say, just keep an eye on him. Let me go and have a cup of tea and come back. Okay. And if he's okay, I'll take him back home. I've done this with both my children. Okay, and then somebody comes and a woman says, "Arey, your child is crying so much. It's a small packet of chips now. You buy it for him, no? And then you like the child, you take him with you. Because I'm not going to buy the chips." And like, my man, I remember my son running and the mama, "Don't leave me, don't leave me." I said, "I will not leave you, but I will not take up. I will not tolerate your tantrum." Right? So I would suggest just tell the truth. No, not allowed. Don't, like I said, they're testing you. They're testing you, and don't save your child from the world. Don't save your child, and be good to yourself. When you're being good to you, mothers and fathers over sacrifice sometimes, I think. Sorry, I know I don't sound like a great mother, but they over sacrifice. When they over sacrifice, the child believes that the world will sacrifice everything for them. They start believing that they're prince and a princess. They start believing that they can rule the world. My friend, you can't rule the world. You're not good enough. Let's face it. Don't kill the child's enthusiasm, but don't treat the child so differently that the child believes that he or she is perfect. And then in the real world, when they actually come and find that they're not perfect, it hurts them to the core. It hurts them to their very soul, and they're unable to cope up with it. If you can't afford, tell the child can't afford. If you can afford, you don't want to buy, tell them, "I can afford, I will not buy it for you." Tell the truth. Just tell the truth, right? And tell them, "I've already bought you X number of things. This you will not get. I'm so sorry." "Oh, but you have so much money." "Really? But you didn't earn the money. I earned the money. So I will decide. The day when you earn the money, you buy, and I will not tell you anything." Right? So I think telling the truth is very important, and that's children are sensitive because you don't tell them the truth. They'll ask you a question, you'll beat around the bush. They ask you a question, "How are children born?" At the age of 7 and 8, the child will say, "How are children born?" And then you will say, "Oh, God gives it. Comes to when you pray to God, no, He throws the child from heaven." Really? What shit are you talking about? What are you saying? Want to tell the truth, scientific fact? They always say that the child is ready for the truth when it asks the question. Don't give sexual details and eroticism. Don't give that. But scientifically, that's how a child is born. If you tell the truth, the child is more geared up with the world. If you don't tell the truth, the child becomes more sensitive, right? If right from when a child does a really bad drawing and says, "Mama, look at my drawing, it's beautiful." The child seriously telling his drawing, but I love the effort, I love the effort and the attempt. Okay, now I want to explain this drawing to me, and let's see how we can make it better. Okay, don't unnecessarily praise a child. When you unnecessarily praise a child, the child becomes more sensitive. It's falsehood. Why do you promote falsehood in your child? So sensitivity doesn't come from the child. The child has learned to be strong. Damn it, it pushed its way out of your body. The child is already strong. You don't teach that child how to be strong. You teach the child, and we make the child weak in the way we bring them up. We won't give them tasks. The child asks for water. What do you say? You say, "Okay, guess what? Go bring your own water and bring one glass for me." That's what you should normally say. I've seen mothers run into the fridge to bring water for their children. They will run and make. They will sacrifice their own food and keep it aside for the child. I'm not saying if there is less, you can sacrifice. But if there is ample, why are you sacrificing? So let you know what? Prepare the child for the real world. Because the world is not going to be kind to your child the way you are. The tougher you are, the more truthful you are building a warrior who can go and fight the battles of the real world. Right from the time the child is really, really small. Teach the child to appreciate somebody who's better than him or her, and don't unnecessarily say you are the best in the world when the child is not. Don't tell a lie. That's all I'm saying. If you tell the truth to your child, the child will not be sensitive, because the truth is always brutal. Say it nicely, say it kindly. I'm not saying kill the child with your words, but say it nicely and kindly. The kindness is what will make the kindness, and the truth is what will make the child strong over its lifetime. So the way we were brought up, Archana ji, you and me, that was different. That's a different world altogether. We were okay with lies. We were okay with lies. This generation is not okay with lies because they have exposure. And the minute they have exposure to everything, they know the truth somewhere. They know the false truth. And then they start becoming sensitive because they feel let down when the mother and father lie to them, the teachers lie to them. I know for a fact that if the teacher doesn't have an answer, she will punish the child and say, "What stupid question are you asking? You go out of the class." Excuse me. Tell the child, "I don't know the answer. That's a very intelligent question. I'm going to give you a chocolate tomorrow for asked me a great question. I'll come and find the answer and give it to you." Or you throw the challenge back at the child and say, "You know what? For that question that you asked, I'm going to give you a bookmark. If you find the answer, I'll give you 4 bookmarks." Reward the child for curiosity. Reward the child for not knowing something. Be ready to accept that you don't know something. If you do that, then the child will also accept that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to know. It's okay to fail. Why do we not tell people or children that it's okay to fail? It's okay to fail. How many people who are toppers in their college have today are MDs of companies? Just think about it. Half of them have gone mad, because they can't cope up with that pressure of number one. They can't cope up with it. So children are not sensitive. We're making them sensitive. Okay, and if you want to make a very different relationship with your child, then I think the entire thing has to circle around telling the child the truth, preparing it to be preparing it for the real world right from the time it was small. Tell the truth. You can start today. Today you can start the entire exercise of making your child stronger. Tell the truth. If you're terrified, tell the child, I'm terrified. If you don't have an answer, tell the child, I don't have an answer to this. If you know the answer, you don't want to tell, say, listen, I know how kids are ready to have this discussion. Let me prepare you. If you tell the truth and you accept your own mistakes and fallacies, you're telling the child it's okay to make a mistake. Only those children are sensitive who think that it's not okay to make a mistake. They are the ones who are the most sensitive. Children who can face up to the fact that failure is okay are not very sensitive because they're used to it. They're used to failing. They'll jump up, bounce back, come back. They'll again jump, come back. They will come and tell you, "Arey, my teacher whacked me today and she told me to get out of the class." And they'll laugh at it. And then you say, "Oh, did you deserve it?" Yeah, I deserved it. I was teasing somebody. See, it's okay to go and stand out of the class. So why do we make a? And they will tell, "Oh, my child is then the child will lie to you. If the teacher says no, then you will start making blaming and say, "No, I didn't do anything, mummy. My that fellow, no, my friend, he was telling me." And then you're lying. You're telling the child you can't make a mistake. I mean, what kind of school are you in if you're not sent out of the class at least once in your year, in 1 year? You should be sent out more often, according to me. You will learn that in real life you will be sent out of the classroom several times. Learn to bounce back into the classroom with a smile on your face. Take it like a man, So take it like a woman. I think women are far more stronger, but it's a saying. So that's about it. I don't think sensitivity is something that cannot be dealt with. Let's make our kids stronger. It's not this world. It's not the children of this world who are sensitive. I think this style of parenting is having a flaw.
Exactly. So what I can conclude from your talk, ma'am, is that the parent mindset should be changed first. We have to teach the children that nobody is born perfect, right? And it's okay to make mistakes. Failures are the stepping stone to success. So don't worry, even if you fail, you are going to get back. But if you keep reinforcing that you are perfect and nothing is better than you, then we are doing more damage and it is detrimental for the cause of the child. Right, ma'am? Right. So it was a beautiful discussion with you, ma'am, and looking forward to having more inputs from you in our second episode of discussion. Anything that you would like to convey to our viewers, ma'am? Parents and educators are the ones who are more interested in our today's episode. So what is the message that you would like to give to them, ma'am?
Okay, no, I would think that attend Archanaji's show, listen to her. Who's got she got so much of knowledge. It's just a bounty and a fountain of knowledge and wisdom and experience. And it's her own experience, which is amazing. She collects experiences from people and she makes them feel comfortable and she shares that beautiful experiences with you so that you can get life lessons from there. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have made so many mistakes you can't imagine, but the idea is to bounce back from it, and that's what she has done. I've met a soul sister in her today, and connect with her, connect with people around you. Don't listen to negative talk. Don't listen to people who are telling you, who are misguiding you. Just wake up to the fact that the 20th century parent is not enough for the 21st century child. Correct? Be it teachers or parents or educators or academicians, it doesn't matter. I'm simply repeating, the 20th century parenting or education is not enough for the 21st century requirement of a child. So just turn that around in your brain. Just get that into your head. Right? If you can get that into your head, life is sorted, life is cool, and journey as an educationist, parent, or a teacher, you'd enjoy it far, far more. That's about it, Archana ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I
so much,
enjoyed
Vijaya,
it.
ma'am.
I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me on
Yes,
this show.
thank
What
you,
a
and
lovely
for
host you.
making my studio vibrant today. You know, full of energy. I can literally feel the energy bubbling within me as well. And audience, if you want to follow ma'am, I will be posting her handles after the video now below in our comment section. So you can just follow her articles, learn parenting, learn teaching, because these are skills which are acquired. We are not born with them. So we need to learn, we need to adapt and change to evolve. Otherwise, we perish. I think on that note, thank you so much, Suvarna ma'am, for having made time and come to our studio. Looking forward to meeting you again, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Archana ji. Thank you so much, viewers and listeners. I love you all. Let's make this world a better place for our future generation. Bye.